Hello, my name is Zane, and I will be your host for the show. Today's topic is cryptocurrency, and we will be discussing the rise of cryptocurrency and the way that it has been implemented into daily life in the year 2023. Whether you're listening from home, from work, or from somewhere else, I would love to hear what you think. You can drop a message however you prefer. If there is something you would like to hear about on the show, let me know, and I will do my best to make it happen. So today we're going to start by talking about the original cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. It is a rather fascinating concept. It is definitely a human construct. A lot of people like to say money is a construct. Well, they were wrong. This is a construct. Money just happened. Bitcoin took a lot of thought. Nobody just stopped and said, "Hey, I want to trade something." No, they thought that maybe there was a way to represent the value of the ease of work in the modern day. They were entirely wrong about that. Nothing is easy about keeping up with a computer. The idea was for the computer to make the work easy so that we could keep up with it better, rather than trying to keep up with a machine that is going to pay for itself in the long run. Whether or not that is to pose itself as a problem in the near future is up to anyone's discretion. We are all entitled to our opinions about such. And one day somebody's going to be able to say, "I told you so." That's not what matters. That's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're just going to talk about how it started. If you're familiar with the name Satoshi Nakamoto, you might get a little bit of a thrill out of this. A lot of people say Satoshi's not around anymore, that he never was, that it's just a monomer, that he just completely disappeared off of the face of the earth. There's no telling what any of that means. What we do know is that Bitcoin is used by millions of people every day. And those people worked very hard to make that happen. Whether or not they had anything to do with the construction of the device or the mechanism or even the implication of Bitcoin, every dollar that went into the funding of the platform was work. It was human work. We may have been assisted by machines in making it happen, but the machines did not pay for the Bitcoin. We did. The idea was to make a machine work valuable. A machine cannot operate without a human operator. All we wanted to do was change that. The creator of Bitcoin had one idea in mind: to create what we know today as a blockchain. The blockchain is almost like it sounds. You have one block lined up after the next. A block is a series of operations that is computed. It is run through an algorithm, and the algorithm determines whether or not each block is as accurate as the next. And so long as this remains to be true, we will have what we know as Bitcoin. It is a simple user interface which allows us to input our own tiny little bit of data, in which it outputs a much larger window that we cannot see. Some people may have more to do with it than others. They may know a little bit more about that than the rest of us, and that's okay. But from the outside looking in, a blockchain is just a collection of data that is verified over and over again. This is the only way to put a monetary value to the output of the electricity that goes into a machine. We could crush some rocks with a machine and say that those rocks are now more valuable because they can be moved easier, which is very true. But when working with technology that does not really output a physical item, there is no material to what we see in technology today. We have a mouse and keyboard before us, or a touch screen if you're into that kind of thing, and it kind of limits the work output, if you will. The blockchain was an attempt to reiterate that, to allow machine work to be represented in a new light. Bitcoin was created in the late 2000s. Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know anything about Satoshi. Not today. When it started, plenty of us knew. We asked a lot of questions. You could look on whatever social media, search engine, newspaper, you name it. Eventually, whether it was Satoshi Nakamoto or not, somebody used this digital currency as a trade. They swapped their information through an algorithm. This allowed them to use what we consider the first cryptocurrency transaction. There's a lot of speculation as to whether or not the exact date and time and transaction are accurate. A little bit of double checking, cross checking your information, just using multiple sources, you can kind of verify that there is a general idea as to what happened there. Over time, it developed into more and more of a widely used digital currency. It started as a very lighthearted, positive, uplifting thing for the communities that it was in. You could find forums and chat rooms across the internet where people were so excited that something of such excellence had finally come to be. Eventually, anyone could use it, and anyone did what anyone would do with it. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about what it can be used for, what it should be used for, what it will be used for, and how it has benefited almost everyone alive. There's a couple other cryptocurrencies. Today we're only going to talk about a couple. There's so many now, and many of them are illegitimate. It's important to remember where it started, why it is, and how we can use it. After the creation of Bitcoin, after its widespread use, there were some small scale investors, tech experts as well, who saw the potential use of something such as a cryptocurrency. Cryptology has been around for centuries, and to find a safe way to use it with technology in order for the greater good, many, many people across the globe came together to create something that would support the ever-growing lifestyle that surrounds us. The transition from Bitcoin being an all-time great to a hourglass was a little bit of a devastation. Many people saw Bitcoin as the future. Unfortunately, many people got greedy with it. They decided to keep it to themselves, and they decided to turn it into something that it was not supposed to be. Thanks to them, there were some competitors that arose with the intention of making sure that such could not occur again. Under normal circumstances, we look towards Ethereum in that circumstance. Ethereum was almost a clone of Bitcoin. The idea was to create a cryptocurrency that would not expire. one that had potential to outlive its predecessor, one that could be widely developed and expanded upon in a way that would flourish amongst a constantly changing world. The diversity in technology is something that cannot have a single label. It cannot have a single solution. Bitcoin sounded great in the beginning, but Ethereum sounded even better. In some ways it is, in some ways it's not. Anyone who knows anything about cryptocurrency knows that Bitcoin is the most valuable and it represents the majority of market fluctuations. Ethereum is a close second. Ethereum, fortunately, albeit less valuable per capita, it provides a more sturdy response to the constantly changing climate that surrounds cryptocurrency. Ethereum is also very well known for its implementation of non-fungible tokens and other expansions upon the cryptocurrency industry. Bitcoin and Ethereum did not necessarily popularize cryptocurrency. They were popular among those who were familiar with technology and those who were familiar with financial industries. While these things are very important and they do have a very large impact on commerce and business, the majority of the public, communities, and society in general, there wasn't a whole lot of talk about cryptocurrency. There was no such thing as a Bitcoin ATM. There were no major trades. There wasn't a very large awareness for the subject. The popularization of a meme coin. For those of you who aren't familiar with what a meme is a funny internet picture. We've all seen them on social media. We like to send them to our friends. Maybe every now and then you'll get an email at the office with a funny picture containing a kitten and a caption. The meme that popularized cryptocurrency would be Doge. Doge is a Shiba Inu, the breed of dog that is used in the meme. It was usually captioned with silly phrases, and it became quickly popular. This allowed the cryptocurrency, the Dogecoin, to take off almost just as quickly. Amongst the meme communities online, the cryptocurrency picked up pretty quickly, and large influencers took notice of this. Many of them just made jokes about it. They would talk about it on their news channels, they would talk about it amongst themselves, their friends, their communities, whether it be online communities, their business communities, or even their publications. Some people probably got those office emails making jokes about how this meme was impacting finance. That was all fine and good until larger companies started to accept these cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. There were plenty of industries who accepted Bitcoin in its early days, but the majority of people didn't know about this until Dogecoin hit major news outlets. Large companies were now accepting a meme coin as a form of payment for luxury items of all things. This meant that people all over the world who longed for something that could set them apart from others were now being familiarized by something as simple as a meme. This kind of set the tone for the future of cryptocurrency. It wasn't just something for people who are good with finance, it wasn't just for investors, and it wasn't just for people who are good with technology. It was for everyone. Anyone could invest in it, anyone could use it, anyone could treat it like any other currency. If you keep change in your cup holder, it's just a different kind of coin. These are really the three major cryptocurrencies that impacted the financial industry in the way that they do. There are plenty of others. There's other meme coins, there's other main financial institutions that are affiliated with cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. There have actually been some expansions upon cryptocurrency which allow for something such as a wrapped token or something similar where a token can be traded in for a different variant. And this created a sort of investment opportunity for everyone. A lot of us open a savings account to do this, and now the future of finance was finding a way to do that in an even better way. It has affected main financial institutions. It has affected the way that people live. It has affected the economy the world over. And many of us appreciate this. Many of us like to think of it as a brighter future. While this may be true, the workload is increasing significantly. Just because it looks easy, just because it sounds good, and just because there's more numbers involved, that doesn't mean that it's easier on us. It's not easier on anyone. Whether you cook burgers at your local restaurant or you stock shelves at your local grocery store, you have been impacted by such things. The investors in your companies, in your local access, they have also been affected by these things. Finance has been shaken as a whole by cryptocurrency. Most of this has occurred in a very positive, beneficial manner. While this may be true, there are still underlying aspects that have not been fully developed yet. If you are unfamiliar with any of these topics, the best thing to do would be to do a little bit of research. If you're interested in such things, or if you would just like to know what the future holds, you can always do a quick internet search to find more information. There are plenty of outlets with reliable information to let you know what has happened, what is happening, and what is likely to happen in the future with the money known as cryptocurrency. In my personal opinion, it is highly unstable, it's very unreliable. There's no telling what will happen with it. While it has been treated as a security and a trust in the modern day, that is not what it came from. It is only backed by technology and those who know how to use it. We are just as good as the work that we do. An unfinished project such as cryptocurrency is one that should be treated as such. If there is anything to know about it, is that there is never enough. That was just my little disclaimer. It's not a warning. It is merely a relentless to inform you of the risk involved and to alleviate myself of those risks. If there is anything that can be taken away from this, the future holds great things. What happens with that is up to us, the individual and the collective. I would like to thank you all for joining me. If there is anything you would like to hear about in the next episode of the show, please feel free to send a message, comment, Hit the like button if you liked it. If you didn't, let me know.